This is Bob Maloney from my MMA News, and today I am talking to the man, the legend. He's becoming a legend, Andre Petroski. Andre is one of the bright future stars in MMA and on the regional scene over here. 3-0 with 3 first-round finishes. We're going to talk about his last fight, and then Andre has a grappling match coming up at Fight to Win 128, October 19th in South Philly. Dre, man, before we start talking about the fights, how you feeling? It's got to be good not to cut as much weight. You're not in the middle of like a heavy camp, so how you feeling?
Good, Bob, and thanks for that introduction. That was very nice of you. Good. Fight obviously was a successful night, Really couldn't have asked for more. We got the win. We didn't take any damage. The arena was sold out 3 days before the event, so you really couldn't ask for more.
Well, listen, I know, speaking with you in the past, how much pride you take in your jiu-jitsu, and you have been trying to, you asked me in the past, you were looking for one of these tournaments. So I know that, it's an area that you are continually improving upon. But let me ask you something, because, a lot of fighters have different styles. And when I watch you, the jiu-jitsu obviously is a beautiful craft, and it's like technique. But for me, you kind of bring a power mode to it as well, because the Kimura you finished Jesse James with, it was just so much power involved. Do you being like how you are the wrestler, the powerful guy, do you consider yourself a power jiu-jitsu guy? I mean, tell me how you look at it, because when you get into that cage or wherever you're at, it seems like you use a lot of your power too.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think a better word for it is like I really play like the bully jiu-jitsu game, where it's
Okay.
I sit back kind of, I'm like more relaxed. But like once I get to a position where I like, it's like I use a bully style for sure. Like I want to rough you up and kind of make you nervous in that situation. Whether it's I have the Kimura, the armbar, a choke, whatever. Like I want to lay it on you so you're nervous.
Listen, you had the wrestling background. You wrestled all growing up and in high school and college. Do you recommend, would you have started, if you knew now what you know then, would you have, taken up, would jiu-jitsu have helped you in your wrestling career if you took jiu-jitsu at a younger age?
Yeah, I think so. There's some stuff that I know now in jiu-jitsu that I'm like, this would have worked in wrestling. It's crazy because like I wrestled for 20 years, and like there's very, very rarely does someone someone show me a move or a setup or a finish that I haven't seen before. Like that just like never happens. But like there are some aspects of jiu-jitsu that I think could be translated to wrestling, right? So like in wrestling, like obviously you can't like legally choke a man unconscious. Like they will stop it, right? But they're like technically you could, right? So like in wrestling, I was just talking about this with someone else, is like as long as you have an arm in with a front headlock, like it's legal. Like that's not choking. If the arm is out, then like they consider it like a choke, so they would stop it. But like there's a million chokes in jiu-jitsu where the arm is in, right? And that would be considered legal in wrestling. I remember when I was in high school, a lot of the guys, they had this move. It was called the Troy Nickerson. And then when they translate it, when I came to jiu-jitsu, they started calling it the Darce or the Anaconda. And it was like, this guy was doing this move, and instead of just finishing the choke, he was using it to he was using it to put guys on their back, but just with that little transition where he was locking on the bicep because he had the arm in, refs weren't stopping it, and it was like effective on a lot of guys.
Yeah, I can tell that you're such a student of the game, which is why, you probably have been looking to get this jiu-jitsu match. I know you've been like I said, you've been active with training camps, with fights. Who is Ricardo from Balance? Who would you say is your number one mentor? Who has taught you the most so far in your jiu-jitsu career?
That's tough, man. I I would have to say, like, it's tough to say one person, but
Okay.
like when it comes to jujitsu, like there's a guy. When it comes to striking, there's a guy. Like obviously, Steve has been my MMA coach for MMA. So yeah, I mean Rick has been huge. Rick's a guy that I look up to, and he's got a million tricks in his arsenal that he's always showing me different things. Yeah, I mean, Rick is. I would be lying if I said Rick wasn't a huge part of my jujitsu game.
All right. Well, tell me about this grappling match coming up at Fight to Win 128, Gabriel Barbosa. Is this something where do you even don't even care about your opponent? You're just going to go in there? Is there any kind of do you know anything about him? How do you approach a grappling match different than a fight?
Um, I definitely. I've looked into him now. Like when they offered me the match, I didn't look into him. But like now I remember him. At the time I had no idea who he was, but now I remember him. I know because I watched him beat one of my teammates on one of the UGC cards in Reading. I just didn't put two and two together. Honestly, I didn't care. I've been trying to get on this card for like the past year or two. And before I was a blue belt, so they turned me down. And then when I was a purple belt, they couldn't get me a matchup. So when they came to me with the match and said it was a gi match, like obviously that gi is not my world, but like it's martial arts. Like I've done it all. Like there's nothing I haven't done in martial arts. So like I'm very comfortable in a gi.
That's great, man. Once
Yeah.
again, Andre Petroski, man. Can't wait to see him get back in the cage, but I also have respect and admire guys that are, you're continually working on your craft. I know your goal obviously is, to advance further fighting, but what you're doing is, that's what you have to do. You have to work on your skills. And you know, I admire that, man. And you're a competitor. Let's face it. You said you've been wrestling for 20 years, so I'm sure the endorphins from competing is something that you strive for. You look for that. So I want to wish you nothing but the best. Before we go, give some shout outs or some love. I know you got some great things going on at home right now.
Yeah, for sure. Family's been great. Everyone's healthy. We're very lucky. And there's been many blessings this year, and we're very grateful.
That's great, man. Andre, man, best of luck to you in this match. I look forward to talking to you soon, and I look forward after that to hearing some fight news because, like I said, man, I got the star. When I see Andre Petroski making an announcement, man, my blood starts to boil. I'm like all pumped up. Can't wait to see what's next for you. I know the sky's the limit. I know you're going to keep working hard. Stay healthy, my friend, and best of skills to you coming up on October 19th, man, at Fight to Win. It's a pleasure to watch you work, man. It really is.
All right. Thank you a lot, Bob.